So we're going to start this adventure into market intelligence over here on the MLSListings.com site, the public site that people can go. Now, when they search here, when the consumer searches on this site, they only get about 25, maybe 28 pieces of data. When you're searching over on the pro.mlslistings.com site, now you're into the full listing. So, you know, it can be up to 600 or 700 pieces of information on a listing and different types of market statistics as well. And as I said, we'll be bouncing sort of from program to program to give you different ideas of where you can find market intelligence data. But here on the public site, we're going to move right here, right at this upper menu, into what's called the Media Center. Because yes, this is where the media goes. This is where the Bang News Group goes, the Bay Area News Group goes, you know, radio stations, local television stations, when they want to get market statistics of what's going on at the county level, this is where they wind up. And the county level is the key thing here. So I'm going to click into Market Data Reports. And what you see here is that on the 11th of this month, we posted up the previous month's market intelligence, market statistics, how things went in those counties. And absolutely, this is county level data. Now, what you usually may want to do is there is a general overview report. We've got the individual county breakdowns, but here's that general overview report. And so I'm going to break that open here, and we'll bump this up a little bit so you can see it. I think I have to go one back down. There we go. That should work. There we go. Okay. So what we're looking at here, and these are canned reports, county level. Up at the top, you've got single family year over year. So this April 2017 versus April of 2016. And as you can see, we saw, you know, drops in the inventory levels that have taken place throughout all 5 counties that MLS Listings produces data for. Closed sales were only up in San Mateo, so I got a green number there to indicate a positive figure. Down sometimes pretty significantly, Monterey and Santa Cruz County, certainly being affected by the shortage of inventory in both those places. The median price continues to go up, so this is what you're looking at, is supply and demand in action here. Inventories are down, closed sales are down, but those median prices continue to rise, with the highest increase in San Mateo County over the last year-over-year environment. And then certainly when we look at our days on market, we'll move a panel out of the way. When we look at our days on market, now San Mateo stayed even, but Santa Clara County had a -23, so it took less time to sell that inventory in this year than it did last year in April of 2016. So although it's a negative number, that's actually a positive factor when you're looking at the days on market. So huge increase there in San Benito County at 46%, getting close to doubling year over year. 31 down in Santa Cruz where I live and where Sean's from as well. So, you know, an increase in those days on market. And this is where the analysis of the data, you know, sort of steps in. And certainly I'm not a, you know, statistician professional. I leave that to Nick Lamoro at our office to really dig into the data. But just on a layman's approach, we're going down on the inventory. There's been less sales taking place in Santa Cruz County year over year. We had a mild or slight increase in that median price, but our days on market went up almost by a third. And it could be because of that inventory that's left is just not inventory that the buying public wants to buy. Certainly, I'd check something like that out with, you know, my office manager, maybe one of my mentors, and perhaps they can help. Sounds like we've got a phone open out there. You're going to want to mute your phones, otherwise we'll get some feedback going across the broadcast here. Okay. Coming down to the bottom chart, once again, county by county. Now, this is your month over month of this year. So how did things progress from March of this year to April of this year? Inventory levels saw some increase on the month over month basis, decrease over year. Okay, so maybe things are starting to pick back up again. Closed sales came up. We had a short spurt of closed sales, except for in Monterey County, with pricing coming up in, median price coming up in 3 of our 5 counties, going down and just slightly in San Benito, staying flat there in the Santa Cruz area. Days on market, all in red, which means actually, here's 2017 versus, March versus April. So we started to see things pick up right here. So we had a nice spurt of activity in the March to April timeframe of this year. So these are county level data, and I'm going to go ahead and keep it right here, because what I want to show you now is a tool that's built into your PC. Now we had some people come in and join us. There's Jerry. She made it. Thanks, Jerry. Hey, Jerry, if you could let me know whether you're working on a PC or a Mac, and Gendra, please excuse my sort of butchering of your name there. It's very unique. Gendra, if you could tell us whether you're on a Mac or PC. Jerry's on a PC.
Mac.
Looks like, and you're on a Mac. Okay, so I'm describing the process I'm going to do is on a PC, but for Gentry on that Mac, you're going to use the keyboard commands using the command button, the shift button, and the number 4, command shift 4, to do this exercise. It's a type of screen capture that allows you to peel out just one image off your screen and use it someplace else. So for those on the Mac, it's command shift 4. But for those of us on the PC, I'm going all the way down to the very bottom corner, bottom left corner of your PC, and I get a menu that pops up, and I get my start button down there. Now, this is the start menu for your computer, and it's got different programs that you use most frequently showing. The tool we're looking for, mine is up here at the very bottom of the stack, because I use this tool multiple times every day. Once you find this tool, you'll be surprised how many different places you can use it. Even just doing an email, capturing a quick note, sending a quick, if you're on a Mac, you can do texting off your Mac. This is a great way to capture imagery rather than having to type out all the words. So if you do not see the snipping tool at the top of your list, I want you to come down to the bottom of the list. There's a little search window down there, and I want you to type in the word snip. And what your computer does, your PC does, is it goes out and it finds all the tools that have something to do with snip, and it's placed the most prominent tool, the one we want, right here at the top. What I recommend you do is you hold your left mouse button down on that snipping tool, and you drag it down to this bottom menu. And as you can see, I've already got it down there. You only have to do this once. And once it's down there, it gets pinned to that taskbar, and you never have to go search for it again. It's always just going to reside down there for you every time you log in. So that's how you go find it. And if for some reason, later on tonight you attempt to do this and you forgot what, what did Mark say about that snipping thing? I have my YouTube channel up because I was going to show you where we store all our videos, but I'm just going to use it right now because I've never done this. Snipping tool for PC. Okay, you can do the same thing. Snipping tool for Mac, and it will give you the instructions you need. And there they are. There's those snipping tool instructions of how to use it. So if you don't do it now, you can always pick it up later on YouTube. Okay, let's go back to that chart I wanted to get. I'm going to open up just a Word document here. That way, and this Word document is just going to be a sort of a fake email, so I can show you how to do this. Here's the chart I want to send to my client, this bottom one here. And we live in areas where we've got a lot of very, very smart consumers. They're engineers, they're executives of large companies that they love their statistics. Well, this is a good way for you to feed them statistics. And it looks like you stayed up all night long doing Excel. No, you're just doing a quick capture from the MLSlistings.com site in this case. Okay, here we go. Going to grab my snipping tool. It's right down there at the very bottom. Click on it. You'll note that my screen went gray and that my mouse over here on the left-hand side of the screen has changed from the usual pointer you usually see to this what we call a cropping tool. So I'm going to place the cropping tool right where I want to start the snip, right where I want to start to cut this image out. I hold my left mouse button down and I drag the mouse till it comes all the way over here to the bottom right. That looks pretty good. When I get the shape I want, I get the snip I want, I let my left mouse button go, and this is now a picture. And I'm going to do a right click on this picture, and that little menu pops up there, and here's where it says you can copy, you can paste, you can send it directly to an email if you want. I'm going to use the copy option. Remember also that it has a save as. If I wanted to save this image to my computer so I can use it over and over again, I would use the save as command. But I'm going to do the copy. I'm just going to copy it into that fake email we've got going. Bring back up my email page. There it is. And now I do that right click paste. And there it is. Anything I can get off any screen that comes up on my computer, I can use my snipping tool down here to, in this case, I can start a new snip tool because I just want to capture maybe just the line for Santa Cruz up here as an example. So little bits of the screen, big chunks of the screen, the whole screen can be removed, copy and pasted to other pages. I'm going to open up my my chat window here. Oh, thank you very much, Jay. That's very helpful. Thanks, appreciate that. If you have any questions on this, or as we go along, once again, use that chat window down there and drop me a little note. I'll be popping open my chat panel every now and then just to see if anyone's there. Okay, let me move some things out of the way here. Now we were here on the MLSListings.com site. Okay, and let me shrink that back down so we can see it a little better. Let's go take a look at some of the other media center market reports that we've got. Okay, let's dive into the specifics of, in this case, Santa Clara County. I'm going to open up Santa Clara. Now, what we're going to see here is the other sheet we looked at, the general overview. That was a table or a matrix of numeric values. As you move into each county, you now get these very colorful charts and graphs. Once again, you can snip these out. Part of your membership. You can snip these individual charts and graphs out and use them in your marketing material as well. So in this case, we've got there. I'm up in the upper right-hand corner, or excuse me, upper left-hand corner of the screen. I've got 12 different charts that I can look at. And the other key thing to note is look how far the timeline is on these charts. I'm over here on the bottom left-hand side. That's where I currently am. I'm in the April timeframe of 2017. But if I move all the way to the left-hand side of this chart, I'm back in January of 03. So that's one of the cool aspects of these charts is that they really give you and your client the opportunity to look at long-term trends, long-term data on all of these charts. So this one in particular, inventory is the orange line. Your closed sales are the green line. The blue line right in the middle, that's your new business coming in, your new listings coming in. Certainly, here's the jump right here. So this is the 07, let's see, when did it start? We really got our start in January of 06. Inventory started to climb. What was going on in that time period? That was the, I don't know if it was the crash or the bumble or the stumble, the real estate chaos that was of that era. And then look, we saw a great big drop into January of 10. We started to sell that inventory off. But once again, it took that last little jump, a very short jump of just 1 year. Those inventories climbed up again and sort of things got cleaned up. And then boom, 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 all the way down to where we are now. The humps you see here, that's your standard, what we call, the selling season. that early spring into early fall time frame. Okay, coming down the list, I want to show you some of the other charts we have here. This is inventory for both the single family and the condo situation. Once again, that long-term look at the giant hump with that one last little bit of chaos that took place, and then the giant slide down into the current inventory levels with the seasonal bumps we see each year. So these are both; those are both for inventory. This one splits the condos from the single families, and now we get down in months of inventory. You know, it all depends on the question that your client's asking you. What type of data do they find interesting? We also come down. This is closed sales, but I want to get down here into the pricing area. As you can see, we saw here's the sort of the problem that took place right in this period right here. Our median pricing was doing a nice easy climb coming out of 98. It hit the problem. Prices dropped dramatically in a very short-term period. Now they have, as we've seen them picking up over the years, but what we're also seeing is this increase here is much sharper than this long-term increase from 98 up to 08, this 10-year period right here. Okay, once again, we can snip these out if you need them. I'm going to go ahead and line this one up right here. We'd love for you to take the MLSListings logo with you if you have to. Sometimes they position it sort of strategically. You could also, just take the whole thing, the whole image with the line around it. But let's do that once again just to show you. Coming down to pick up my snipping tool on my bottom toolbar. This is the last snip I did, so I'm going to tell the system in the window of the snipping tool, give me a new snip. Going to line it up. Going to take the outline of this chart as well on this one. So there's my starting point, upper left corner. Hold that mouse down, drag it till you get the line, you get the shape you need, and then let go of that mouse button once again. And there's my image that I can copy and paste. Okay. Going to check the chat window here, make sure everybody's doing good. Looks like it. Okay, so put some things away here real quick. Once again, these charts came from, all of these charts came from, in this case, we were looking at the MLSlistings.com, the public site, the media center, and the market data reports right there. When the list comes up, you're going to get the individual county breakdowns for the previous month, and then you'll get that general overview of what took place out there in the market. Remember, these are all at county level. These statistics usually come up roughly 10 to 14 days after the close of the month. We give all the agents 3 days after the last day of the previous month to get their records up to date, get those last minute sales in. Then we lock the data down, and then Nick Lamoro, who was our statistician at the MLS, he locks himself in a cave for 3 or 4 days to get all these numbers put together, and then we go through the graphics building process. But remember, those graphics belong to you, and you can use them anywhere you want. Okay, let's head back over to the pro.mlslistings homepage. I've already logged in. And the first place I want to go to start getting some data, we're going to stay on sort of that big level overview. And I'm going to run over to Realist right over here on the right-hand side and open the Realist tab up. For those of you that have not taken one of our Realist classes, we call it public record search, because that's what Realist is. Realist is all the data for the state of California, all 58 counties, and it's every home in the state of California. And there are a lot of different ways that I can look at that data. It's got marketing capabilities for you. It certainly has farming capabilities. But what I want to look at is this, and we're going to, I'm going to move through this one a little quicker. But like I say, come back and pick up my public record search is the name. Now, for those of you that have taken this class, remember that there's a toolbar over here on the left-hand side of the map. And one of the tools it offers to me is the second button down, and it allows me to put down zip codes. Okay, this is a layering button over here, and allows me to indicate, put all the zip code lines down. And you can see it's got city lines and neighborhood lines, MLS area lines, if you still work with those. But what I wanted to, this is statistics class here, so let's say I like to do my marketing in a zip code by zip code method. I'm gonna, let's find a good one where, I want to go over here near the Rose Garden area, and Mary, 95126, is that a good zip code for Rose Garden? If you can give me a little chat back there. Let's see if Mary's still listening in. Oh, she'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and go with that, though. I want to take a look at the statistics, the market performance statistics for 95126. So this is the easy part. You just choose the zip code you want. You get that layer down there using that layering tool. Come down into 95126 and choose any house. Okay, I'm going to come down here to Shasta Drive and just sort of zoom in till I get here are the parcels on Shasta. I'm going to choose this one right here. Just click on it. Remember, this is at zip code level. So this home was last bought in 91 by a Michael Leonard. And I'm going to open up the full report for Michael. You can do this for any house in the state of California. But once again, we're working at a zip code level. So there are multiple tabs across the, the page here for Michael's property. This one, the one it comes to automatically is the details of the property itself. But I want to look at the market trends for this zip code and these homes that are around Michael's place in 95126. So here they are. Let me bump them up a little bit for you. These make great charts to snip. I really like these. So let me do it. Move that panel out of the way real quick. Yes, but also 95010, Mary tells me. So Mary, let's go back, and as long as, we've got a nice small class today, so let's go back. I'm going to close this report out, upper right-hand corner, okay? And we're going to go look for that other zip code that Mary's interested in. And 95010, let's see, I'm going to make sure I got the right zip here. 95010. Where is it? I got to find it here. Where are you? 95010. Mary, where is it? I've lost it. Let's see, we have Mary come back here. 95050. Mary, give me a street name, because that may be easier for me. And Henchet, 95050. Where are you? I'm still looking for it here. Yeah, just so we don't delay too long, Mary, I'm gonna, if you can give me a street corner I can go off of, that'd be great. But let me find, let's do 95125. Just because I'm not finding it. Let's come down to Willow Glen Way, pick a home, any home. We'll choose that one right there. And we look at the report for this piece of property that was bought back in 07 for a little over $1 million. And the market trends here on the detail report bring me to the market trends for this particular, there we go. Okay. Now, these are county level reports added to MLSListings data. So primarily county. So easiest way to tell which is which, that label right there at the end of the title. If it says tax, then this is tax records. Look, those will mirror the MLS records very closely, The difference being that the tax record is going to pick up, anything that was off the MLS. Maybe it was a trust transfer or a quitclaim deed or an interspousal grant deed, something that never went through the MLS, as well as those for sale by owners. Those would show up in here as well with that tax tab next to it. When we come down to the MLS tab, you'll see, maybe some slight differences. Now, this one likes to break things up. Here's our legend. I got zip code 95125 in orange. The city is the green one, so there's always going to be a little bit of difference between the two. And then our county level is right there. Cities where the city and the zip code are virtually the same thing. Saratoga 95070. You're going to see there. You'll see barely any difference between the zip and the city columns on this chart. Okay, so coming down, we've got tax data. You've got sales price information. Once again, this is going to be a 1-year span of time. You cannot change this span of time or that date range. Those are going to be fixed. Let's move down the list here. Now you can note over on the left, I've moved from the median tax based on the tax data versus the median sale price versus on the MLS data. They pretty well mirror themselves, except for, look at this drop right here. Let's come down a little bit. The August, let's see, July of 2016 to August of 2016, look at that drop right there. As compared to the county level data, not so much of a drop. It was much higher on the MLS median price side for some reason. Remember, we're looking at just that one zip code, and sometimes all it takes is one piece of property within a zip code to have a major effect on a chart like that. So you'd always want to go back and see, boy, was there a drop, a listing that came off, or a listing that sold for a lot less in that one zip code that would cause that significant drop to take place. Here's the list price data as well. Sales to the original list price versus the median sale price. Sale to list price ratio, you may have heard that as. Remember, once again, this sometimes can be skewed because if that listing agent doesn't put that original price in or correctly, but then they go back and change the price, what we would call the last list price. All it takes is one mistake not caught by a listing agent, and it can skew these numbers. Okay. Once again, these are great charts. I think they've got a lot of color. They've got a lot of impact to them. Number of sales on the MLS. That's always a nice one to pull. Like I say, you're doing a newsletter. You come up with a corner that you just can't fill with anything. Go ahead and grab one of these charts. Come down, pick up that snipping tool. I'll do this one pretty quick. And we'll come out here and grab the legend as well for you. And find the right line. And there's my snip to fill in that little corner of a newsletter I've got going out, or maybe an email I want to send to my client, and they're in the 95125 area or zip code. Nice little addition to that email. Give them a little market statistic to go along with it. Okay. Once again, let's go back to sort of the start so you can see where this all came from. And I'm going to move my panel out of the way to close the report. Take that piece of property off. I started with bringing up the Realist tool from the home page. I picked up the Realist tool right here on the right-hand side. It brought me up to a screen that looked like, let me pull this border off real quick, that looked like this, just the map. But I decided I wanted to search by zip code because that's how the stats come out in this program. So I came over to my map toolbar on the far right-hand side of the screen, and I used the second item down, which was my boundaries, and I told it to put in the zip code. The legend comes up at the bottom there. I choose the zip code that I want to work in. Let's move over here to, let's move in a little farther down. 95124 as an example. Pick any house, zoom all the way into this map, pick any house in that zip code. Oops. wait for those parcel lines. I'm going to choose this one right here, choose any house, and open up the bigger report. And when you get to the detailed property report that we're on right now, move over to the Market Trends tab. There at the upper left-hand side of the page, pop the trends open, and you've got a whole new set of charts and graphs that you can use for your marketing material and to stay in touch with the marketplace. All right, let me check my chat window here, make sure everybody's doing okay. Looks good. Feel free to pop into that chat window, give me a question. Maybe you want to look at a different area. Okay, let's move on. Going to move on to some new statistics. Let's stay at that zip code level though, and I'm going to come over here to a tool on the toolbar right-hand side, almost right in the middle. It's called Find Record Search. Popping that open. Now, Find is the big brother to Realtor.com. Find is made by a company called Move, produced, I should say, or developed by a company called Move. Move is the same company that owns Realtor.com. So when MLSs send their data to Realtor.com, because everyone wants to be there for the consumer eyeball, Move said, hey, as long as you're sending over the data fields for the client to look at, send us over all the rest of the data, the more private remarks, that the commission rate, the showing instructions. We'll take all that extra data and we'll put it in this product called Find. Find is only available to licensed real estate professionals, and because they have to come through the MLS to get to it. Now, a lot like Google, it's only got that one search field right here, okay? You've got some filtering capability down here along the right-hand side, or left-hand side, okay? But I want you to look at this property count, 105,291,196. Why so large? This is a nationwide database. In fact, here I'm looking at, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that town in New York. Let's come down Chesterfield. I can pronounce that. South Carolina, Wyoming, Lehman, Wyoming, nationwide database. But I only want to look at Scotts Valley. Great little town up here in the mountains. Sort of. I don't live in Scotts Valley. I live outside of Scotts Valley up the mountain. I typed it in. It comes back and says, oh, you want this one, Mark? Scotts Valley, California? And yes, I do. So I give it a click, and I click on the orange search button. And up pops for me not only the properties that recently sold in Scotts Valley, this one on Whispering Pines, it's got everything that is on the market right now, the MLS data for it. And I want to come down with those are got some more solds. Let's use our filtering toolbar over there on the left, because I only want to see the properties that are off the market right down here in property status. Click on that. Now, off market being, these homes aren't on the market right now. But if they don't show in the MLS, Move or Find will show them to you with the county information or the tax data for 201 El Sereno Drive. So I'm going to open up 201 El Sereno Drive. Not on the market, but it lets me know maybe it was on the market. Certainly it's going to show me the county level information on it. Yeah, it looks like it was on the market at one time right over there. Cancel listing. Cancel listing. Didn't go all the way through the whole process. And this was just back March 31st, not very long ago. Okay. Now, I've chosen just a singular piece of property, on market, off market, it doesn't matter, in the city of Scotts Valley. Once again, we've got some tabs right across the upper section here. I'm on the listing history right now. I'm going to move over to community info, because in community info are more statistics. Now, what I like about these stats are they're not generally market performance. We've got some market analysis data here broken up by the zip code that the property sits within as compared to the state, as compared to the nation. Okay, so listing price and average sale price here. I like to call this one sort of the USA Today of statistics, because this one gives me some, as you can see down below, a little bit of demographics, average income, own versus rent, occupations for the residents of Scotts Valley, age group breakdown, college attendance. So once again, statistics, not necessarily on market performance, but definitely stats that you can use if your goal is to be the market expert and to publish demographic information or community information for all of Scotts Valley. This would be a great place to come and grab some imagery. Once again, use that snipping tool that you put down here on that bottom toolbar to grab, some USA Today-like statistics or community information like this one right here. Okay, there's a snip to put on my Facebook page or something like that. That's the reason I like the Move product, is it gives me this great imagery for community information with a little bit of market research as well up here relating to the price. Okay. Pop the chat window open, see if anybody's got any questions on this one. Once again, the Move product called Find is located here on the MLS homepage after login. It's located here on the right-hand side, about halfway down that stack of blue buttons. Okay, let me do some cleanup here. Let's see what I've got going on. We'll pull Find out. Let's pull Realist out. Okay, and that was the Pro homepage. Okay, back to our Pro homepage here. Another level of statistics for you. Market RPR records. The first thing I have to do is remember my RPR records username and password. And as I get this typed in here, because I think they changed it on me. Yep, let's see, at listings.com, and let's see if it worked. Okay. I've got too many usernames, too many passwords in my life. That was a good example of it. Okay, so here we are, RPR. Now, let me tell you what RPR is first. RPR is a service, a product available to you through NAR, the National Association of Realtors. So if you're a realtor, you have access to this data. And we at the MLS offer training classes on this. We'll talk about training towards the end of class, different things to take. Once again, this is a national database. So just like Find, I can look at homes not only that are on the market, but all the homes that are off the market, most anywhere in the United States. In this case, I can move down right into a piece of property. We were working zip codes before. We went from big counties down to the zip code level. Let's move down to the city level this time, and let's see. Anybody got a city they want me to take a look at? And we've done the zips. We've did a little bit of Scotts Valley. If you want to use your chat window, go ahead and pop me over a city name. We'll take a look at. Going to Saratoga. Oh, now everybody's piping in. Let's go to Saratoga, Jerry, just because was born and raised there. Always nice to see what's going on back at home. Saratoga. Right now, I'm going to look how many Saratogas there are out there in the world. Okay, so it's going to ask you for which one do you want. I'm going to say Saratoga, California, and use that search magnifying glass to pop over to Saratoga, California. Okay. The Find product, or excuse me, RPR product loves their charts and graphs. These guys, they got mapping, they got lots of imagery to choose from over here. So let's give you an avenue. Sean, Tonga. Boy, not sure I can get the Tonganese to give us their data. They really like to only sell their condos. They don't want you over there, trying to sell Tonganese condos if you're not qualified. So, but maybe next time. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to move this panel out of the way, and let's come down here. Okay, automatically, I'm already starting to see statistical data here on the right-hand side. Okay, so we've got these nice little clips or nice little market breakdowns. If you want to know what they are, what do they mean by a 12-month change in median estimated home value, click on that About button, and it'll give you the definition of how they're calculating this. Click it again, and we'll fold back up in. Okay. Okay, so nice little chunks of data to be had here. Look at the Saratoga market versus the Santa Clara County market versus the state of California market. Who would have thought back in 1967 that my parents would have bought a 5-bedroom home on an acre of property in Saratoga for $62,000? Okay, so we got lots to look at here, a lot of different ways to lay out statistical data for you. Nice, what I call chunks of data. I'm going to open up the more about this neighborhood window down here. Let's see if there it goes. It's going to pop up here. Now we're coming down into more charts and graphs. Okay, so this is the summary report for market performance within the city of Saratoga. This also gives us the county of Santa Clara, state of California, and then also the whole United States if the data is available. So lots of different ways to look at data down here as well. Note the timelines on these, or the time periods. These are 3 years back for the most part. So as you're seeing, as you move from chart to chart, website to website, they all capture the data a little differently, and the time periods they report on are different as well. The longest period going back in time is going to be MLSListings data at MLSListings.com, which goes back to 1998. RPR also likes to give you demographic and economic situations or information as well. Okay. Okay, coming back up, I want to show you some tabs on this one. Remember, I just typed in the word Saratoga. You can type in a zip code, you can type in a city name. You've got some flexibility on this one. Here's some housing data for us right here. I'm working on those tabs just below the logo, and it's cycling it through here. Okay, so information to be looked at. Once again, charting on that. You've got demographics, so I'm going to click on the people tab right here below the RPR logo. And here comes the demographic information on the city. And we can move over to the economic data as well. Just want to give you some examples. And a lot of this, like I said, you never know when you need a nice little stat to fit in the corner of a presentation, or you've got a newsletter going out, or your website, or your social media posts that you need to do to keep current on things. So we've got demographic data here, and the quality of life. I can't remember what quality of life is. I think this is points of interest kind of thing. And let's see, oh, quality of life. Okay, so annual rainfall in inches. Saratoga 21, the county gets 23. California gets 23. No data available on the USA. I will let you know that up here where I live in the Felton area, we had 100 inches of rain this year. So we got pounded on, as you saw in the news, pretty heavily. Average commute times, just interesting data information. Everybody's driving. Of course they are. Okay? And then your monthly temperatures coming down here. So just interesting community data available on that quality of life tab up there at the top. Okay, come back to our home page, and now let's dive down into, we've looked at data at the county level, all packaged up, can't do much with it. We've looked at it in the realist level over here. Once again, all canned up. You can choose zip codes, you can choose cities, things like that, but you can't change that chart. You can't modify the chart as necessary. RPR, you can come down into the zip or city level, or you can move back up the sort of the hierarchy into the county level as you want. But this one comes down to the city level at its smallest. So how do you get smaller than a city? Well, that's when you need to go to matrix up here at the top. So I'm going to show you some different areas where statistics are available to you, and not only in what we call the table format, a matrix of numeric values, but also in those charts and graphs you may want to build and customize for yourself. So I'm going to go up of, I had that email template I was going to do. I'm going to clear that out. Now, I want to show you a search that I highly recommend that you save, and because it's going to allow you to really be the statistical expert at any neighborhood you want, and you get to decide the shape of that neighborhood, right? The rose garden, does it go all the way across Meridian, or does it, you decide how you want that shape to be drawn. So here's the master search, and I like to call it a market performance search. When we save it, I'm going to use that name. I'm going to do, in this one, this is going to be just pure, what is the consumer, how is the consumer moving the marketplace sort of search. I'm going to do solds, and I'm going to tell the system, remember when you choose sold in Matrix, if you don't tell it how far to go back in time, it's going to deliver you 17 years worth of sold data. The database is getting bigger year by year. Now we're at 17. And nice, that ties nicely to 2017. So when you're looking at our database, whatever year you are in, the last 2 digits are the number of years in the database itself. Now I want to go back, I'm going to stay current with my statistics, and I'm going to go back, say 60 days. We have a very fast marketplace. I'm going to say 0 minus 60 there in that close of escrow date. 0 is today. I'm telling the system to go backwards 60 days. If you're in San Benito County, you may want to go back 90 days. We saw in those first statistics that we looked at that their market's a little slower. You moved out, into some of the outer areas, even of San Mateo County, maybe Honda or Pescadero or something like that. You're going to want to go backwards a little farther in time to pick up a good set of data to work with. I'm going to choose single family for this particular search. I would recommend if you work in the condo townhome market, you build a separate search to look at just that marketplace. And remember, anytime you choose condominium, always choose townhouse to go with it. You will always want to search those two together because you don't know what that listing agent called it. It could be condominium ownership with a townhome architectural style. So, those can get mixed up a lot, and they do get mixed up a lot. Always work them both together. Okay, so single family is going to be this search. Now, I don't put in any kind of beds or baths or square footage. I don't put any pricing in at all because I want to look at the big number. I want to look at the whole picture. I don't want to refine it down right now. I am going to choose Monterey County. Just as an example, right? Monterey County, I want to look at the whole thing all at one time. I'm going to cut it up into bits and pieces to become a neighborhood expert, but I want to start with the whole thing all in one map, okay? And the map is the key thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead down to the bottom, click results on the green toolbar. This is the big answer. It's got all the MLS numbers. It's looking at the whole darn county. And that's okay. As I said, that's okay to do. Next step, save this search. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there's a save button down there. Going to save the search as a brand new search. Green toolbar, very bottom left corner of the screen. Give it a name, and I'm going to call this Monterey County. I'm going to get the spelling right for Jerry, otherwise she'll be upset with me. Making Monterey County market performance. There we go. Now, key button right there, and I'm going to let me blow this up so you can see it. Okay, the most important button right there. Enable as a favorite search on the dashboard. Here's my dashboard in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, that's where this search is going to wind up, so I can go get it real easily. I don't have to go search for it someplace on my computer. It's going to land right there. So here's my save button down below. Okay, and let's go back up to the dashboard so you can see where it landed. And it is right there. Right there. Oops, let me go back. I clicked on it when I just wanted to show it to you. Bottom left-hand side of the screen, in the My Favorite search box, okay, is my Monterey County Market Performance Report. Now, note, your page may look different than my page. Remember that all of these, all of these cubes, all of these boxes can be moved all over the page. So you may not find my favorite searches in the same spot mine was. If you don't see it at all on this dashboard for some reason, it could be hiding out up here in this additional box, okay? And all you got to do is put your mouse on it, hold your mouse button down, and drag it out onto the desktop, and it'll be there the next time. So if you don't see my favorite searches up on your dashboard, check your additional box. It may be hiding in there. Okay, I'm going to click on it. Okay. And Jerry, do me a favor. What neighborhood or what part of Monterey County do you want us to look at some statistics? If you can give me a quick chat on that, we'll tailor it down for your area. And what we're looking at, remember, City of Monterey. Okay. So here's the answer to the question right now. What's sold in the last 60 days? Now, every time you bring this up, every time you go to your dashboard and bring up this report, remember it changes. This answer right now could change in 15 minutes because that's how fast this marketplace moves. A sale could come up anytime. So when you log in, it's dynamic. You're going to get the most recent information possible. Now, Jerry has asked for just the city of Monterey, okay? So right now, look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You're looking at the results tab. Let's move over to the criteria tab because we're going to change the question just a little bit, okay? We've got the base question set up, but now we're going to go to the city of Monterey. So I type in Monterey right here. If you only wanted to take a look at a certain zip code, you would, put the zip code in. We've got the whole county laid out, but this allows us to dive into specific parts of that county, okay? So Monterey County is right there, or excuse me, Monterey City in Monterey County. We've had 31 solds. Look at the bottom left-hand corner. That's my matches. So 31 solds in the last 60 days. Let's take a look at the results. Okay, that's the line item by line item review. But what I'm looking for really is on that green toolbar at the very bottom of the screen, almost right in the center, and it says stats. I'm going to click on it, and let me move it up a little bit for us. There we go. I'm going to click on it, and I get two options. The first one is charts. We'll show you that one in a minute. I want tabular, meaning a table of statistics. Okay. Now, I'm going to bump this up so you can see it on the screen. And the term I'm going to use is called stats tabular. That was the two steps we just took there to get to this screen. Stats tabular. Now, stats tabular, anything I get in a set of results, anything I get on my matrix screen, stats tabular starts to break those numbers down to you and give you these statistical summaries of what's going on, in this case, in the city of Monterey, with the 31 listings that have sold of single-family homes in the last 60 days, okay? So that value right there relates to the number of listings that made up this table of statistics. Now we've got your minimums, your maximums, your average, and then the sum of all the listings that are in the system, that were in the system that sold in the last 60 days. Okay? Now, so what I want to look at, let's read this sort of horizontally here, okay? Now, we're taking a look at the minimum. The minimum list price within those 31 solds was $361. The minimum days on market was 0. The minimum close was 437. But this is not necessarily the same listing. This is just the lowest value in each one of these columns, okay? It could very well be the same listing, right? Or maybe the list price and the year built came from the same listing, but the close price and the square footage came from another listing. So they can be bundled in different ways here, okay? So just the key thing is, as you read horizontally, it's not necessarily the same listing. So you got your mins and your maxes. we tend to want to look at the average line right here, okay? So what this average line is telling me for the 31, market performance for Monterey, last 60 days worth of sold, 953 on the sold, on the list price, 938 on the closed price. So we're not, in the last 60 days, we saw more of a buyer's market, okay, take place. If it was the other way around, if I had the lower list price, higher closed price, that tends to indicate a seller market. They're getting more than they asked for. 41 days on market. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1960. Average 2,175 square feet for the principal residence of the property. 22,700 on the lot size. $484 on the price per square foot. Okay, so nice little chunk of data. We're gonna look at this a little deeper in a second. I want to show you some other options for this, but I really want to show you how this specific tool and this specific type of data can really allow you to show your stuff, as they say, when it comes to your client relationships. Let's take a look at some options though before we go. I'm on the basic drop-down menu here. I'm going to open that up. We've got some other ways of looking at the same 31 pieces of property. I can take a look at it in the market area. These would be the MLS area. So you'll note, we've got the market area names here. So New Monterey had 5 of the 31 listings. They were at the 810 on the list price, 786 on the closed price. 16 days on market here for those 5 listings. So, we're seeing, I think, a little faster turn of property here in the Monterey area. Pasadena, the Laguna Seca, the 50, Highway 68. Here's the corridor for that. So this will break it down by marketing areas for you. Let's take a look at the next one down. This is breaking it down by price. So of the 31 solds, I had 1 that was listed in this price range, 2 in this one, 5 in this one, 7, 6, 1, and it's probably going to go back down. Oh, that a little jump there in the 1.2 to 1.3 market, with 5 of the 31 listings sold right there. Okay, I think it looks like, and I'm going to go all the way back up, we had a bracket that had 7 in it. So really, here was your sort of hot part of the market right here. The $600,000 to $900,000 price range was sort of, that's where the most listings were sold. That's 18 of the 31, okay? And let's see, what else can I tell from this? Your highest price, or the highest volume right now was the 700,000 to 800,000. Let's look at that gap between the list and sales price. It came a little closer. Okay, so once again, where the consumer's buying, the pricing is usually going to be a little bit tighter, or in fact, that closed price can many times be over the average list price. Okay, checking my box here, doing good on the chat side. I want to come back and use the back button in the bottom left corner. And this is the results for the Monterey area. Okay. Let's go down one more layer. Let's go down to neighborhood level, okay? So I'm going to come back to my criteria. That's where I asked the question. Remember, we started with a base question, and then we peeled out, or we cut out Monterey to get that data. I'm going to take Monterey out, though, okay? We're back up to that, all the listings in Monterey County. Going to take a look at it, though, up here in the upper right-hand corner. Let's look at it on a map. Okay? Now, remember, we started this conversation about an hour ago. We looked at counties. We looked at county data that was fixed. We then went into the zip codes, and then we went into cities. Now we're going to come back down into a tight neighborhood environment. So let's come down, and big fan of PG. I like the PG area. Good place to escape to. Probably was. Jerry, you're going to have to tell us, and you're allowed to go ahead and brag. Was it a great weekend in PG? Sunny on Saturday especially. I was up dog training in the Watsonville area, and it was gorgeous. So, yep, Jerry's bragging. Says it was pretty. Okay, I've zoomed down into PG, the City of Pacific Grove, okay? And I just want to take a look at this neighborhood right here, right? It's smaller than the city, it's smaller than the zip code, because I've got an open house coming up right here, okay, as an example. Now, personally, I have never, I've traveled through this area, but I haven't studied the statistical value of this little neighborhood right here. But, if I was an agent, I had to do I'm picking up an open house for a friend of mine who's also an agent. I want to get the statistical data right there. I need to be the market expert. So I'm going to come up to my cutting tool up here at the top of the map on the right-hand side. Going to use my polygon tool to cut this shape out. So I click on it, and I start with individual clicks. So here we go. One click at Lighthouse and Forest. Going to go down Lighthouse. Want to pick up that property right there. I want to make sure that one's involved. One click, because I'm going to come down through this neighborhood. This is Senex. Going to take a turn there, come back down to Forest, come back to my original start point with one final click. As you can see, I've isolated that neighborhood from all the rest of the properties that sold in the last 60 days in the county of Monterey. Let's go down to that Stats Tabular button at the bottom. Whoop, that didn't. Here we go. Let's go down to the Stats Tabular button at the bottom. Stats Tabular. Because when I do this open house this upcoming weekend, and I haven't been there, and that prospective buyer walks in the door, here's what they get to ask this question. I'm almost begging them to ask this question. So what's the market like here in the neighborhood? Here's my response. Well, right now, your average list price in this neighborhood, with Senex to Lighthouse and Forest over, I think that was Pine, $944,000 on the average list price, $921 on the close price. So it is getting, it's a little bit more of a seller market right now. Now your average days on market's 32, and that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, roughly about 1,400 square feet. That equals about $704 per square foot. That sentence, just retain those numbers, have them ready in your brain to come out of your mouth when you get that great opportunity to really make an impression on a prospective buyer, because they're going to look at you like, wow, you really know your market performance on a neighborhood by neighborhood level. It's very feasible that you do, but it's also feasible that you just did this search the day before and just did a quick cut and paste, or excuse me, a quick cutout to find that. The barking you hear in the background is my German Shepherd, probably telling me that the UPS guy is here. So I'm going to walk over and close my office door real quickly. Now, the client, that prospective client, has said, hey, I really like that. Can you send it to me? Can you email me that piece of information? Okay? And absolutely, that's the easiest thing to do. So, going to use my cutting tool, right? My snipping tool that we looked at way back at the start of the class, because I want to pull out this piece of data. So here we go, snipping tool. I get a brand new snip available. Going to send them this data right here. I want that piece of data right there, because they've asked, they love the numbers I gave them. They want to, they want them emailed to them right there at the open house. Grab this data. Going to do a copy and push that data right here with a paste. Your competition, the other agent out there, is still trying to find the Word document that he can use to line up all his columns. You just do a quick snipping tool, and boom, all that data comes over all at one time on your email. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of frosting to this. Okay, I want to add a little bit of pizzazz to my email. I'm going to come back to use the back button. Here's that map I drew, right? So I'm going to open this up a little bit, and I'm actually going to snip a brand new snip, and I'm going to send the client this as well. Give them a little bearings, right? Let them know where those solds take place. There's my snip. Here's my copy. Back over to my email, and we're going to lay in that map right there. Maybe shrink it down just a little bit, just like that. Okay, that's the email that I send out. Good visual impact, good, strong set of data below it. It did all I did was 2 snips. Took it just a couple of minutes to do at best. As I said, now you know why my snipping tool is always down here in my start menu, because I use this every single day. As I'm sending information to my clients, you guys, I'm always trying to give you some visual to go by. It makes it a little bit easier to get that tool taken care of. Okay. Okay. Any questions on this tool, on the snipping tool, or this search itself? The search is the biggest aspect of it. And I'm going to go back to my dashboard here to show you. It's down. I left it over here. Monterey County market performance. Do this for whatever area, every county you work in. Give it this master search that you can come and pick up not only the raw data, but then you can also move to the map, find the neighborhood that you need to be the expert at. Let's find one over here. This is the territory I need to be the expert at off of Del Monte. I use my cutting tools at the top of the page. Usually you're going to use that polygon. Grab this set of homes right here that I need to know the market value, and use my stats tabular button at the bottom to be the expert right there in that neighborhood. Okay. Can you add a timeline on the summary chart? And so, let's see. Find first questions first. Let's see. Okay, so Mary's asking, where do I find the snip tool originally and then move it to the toolbar? Okay, so Mary, you're on a PC, as I recall. So on the PC, come down to the very bottom left corner of the page, okay? You should see this little start menu pop up down there. Open it up. It's feasible that your snipping tool will not be at the top of the page here because it's on the top of mine because I use it all the time. You may have to come down to this little search window at the very bottom and type in the word snip. When you do, it finds the tool for you inside of your computer. You want to do that drag and drop. Hold that left mouse button down and drag it down to this toolbar down here. And then you let your left mouse button up and it will always be down there for you. Whenever you log in, you'll see it attached to that toolbar down at the bottom. Okay? And let's see, then Jerry wanted to know, can you add a timeline on the summary chart? No, there is no timeline on that one. The one thing you can, Jerry, what you could do is you could grab this criteria section. When you do that snip out, grab this as another snip. I'll do that for you right now as an example. So here's my cutting tool. Going to do a brand new snip to grab just this data. Oops, somebody's got their phone open. We're going to be listening to your phone call. We're listening to your phone call. I'm going to do a quick copy, Jerry, and let's move back over here to the email. Going to put that criteria right down here at the very bottom so your client knows exactly what you were searching for. And maybe you can even just shrink it down, make it nice and small so it doesn't detract too much from what the client is. Tips on CMA2, okay. And can you suggest some other classes to begin? You bet, Jay, I'll do that right before we end. Okay, and good question, Venkata. God, I love that name. Thanks for being back with me today, Venkata. Let's go back to that search we did. So here's the snip, right? We just did to create that other tool. In fact, let me go back and do a quick reset here. Market performance market. I think it was this one. There we go. That's the one we were working with. Okay. So you went to the open house, you snipped out the right neighborhood, you used the stats tabular at the bottom to get this summary so that when Bob and Susie walked in to your open house, you amazed them with this data. And then Susie said, can you email it to me? And you absolutely said, of course. And by doing a series of 2 snips, you created this document for them, actually 3 snips, because we added in Jerry's little legend down here for the time frame, okay? But then Bob says, well, thanks for the summary, but hey, I'd really like to see the houses that made up that summary data. This is the cool part of this whole thing. Go back, use the back button. Okay, here's the map. All you need to do is go back to the results. Okay, upper right hand corner. Go back to the results that made up this search. Here they are right here. Okay, easy. Tell the system to select every single listing on this list. Okay, I use the select all button at the very top and come down and click on the quick CMA. That's 3 clicks. You go from results, choose all the statistics, or choose all the listings, and click the quick CMA button at the bottom, okay? And here they are. Everyone lined out for them. Here are those averages that we saw before. I like the fact that when you go to the quick CMA, you also get the medians in there, okay? And of course, down at the bottom, you get those individual, what we call thumbnails of each individual property for them to look at, okay? That it is such a simple, let me go back to where we were so you can see how simple it was. I was here on the map. Bob said, can you send me the individual listings? You say, absolutely, Bob. Go back to the results, upper right-hand corner. Use the select option here on the left-hand side. Select all, so they all are included. And then you click on Quick CMA to bring up your Quick CMA with all the individual data. Remember, if you want the actives and the pendings and the solds in there, no problem. You want to do a little bit bigger CMA, simply from the results page, go back over to the criteria and add in those active contingents, pending, and solds. Okay? Grab the results, tell it, I want absolutely everything, and use your quick CMA button. And now you'll get a quick CMA that breaks down each individual status type in that neighborhood that we drew out. Here's the stuff that's going to, going to the deal right now. They're in the process. And you've got your solds here on the bottom. So easy transition from stats tabular to that CMA, bigger impact with the CMA. And I think the really cool part of it is it really allows you to show your client, your prospective client, Bob and Susie, the brand new buyer, that you are the master of the data. You want it in this format, great. You want it in that format, great. And you're always able to really impress them by adding chunks of data to each other. We added that map to the summary report to get you a great set of data, really let yourself stand out in the marketplace. Okay, going back to Matrix, because before we wrap up here, I want to show you probably the easiest part of Matrix to use. It's a very simplistic format. Want to show you the charts area of statistics. Okay, up here, very top of the page. No matter what page you're on, let's go back to the dashboard as an example, and there it is, right at the top of the page, right in the middle, is the stats button. Charts and graphs. Okay, let's stick with the. Let's see, we go to another area. Somebody wanted to look at real quickly with charts, graphs. City of Monterey. We couldn't do the Toga. We got Saratoga in there. Let's do a statistic for Mary wanted a 95050 statistic. Okay, so here we go. It's the same search screen you saw over on Matrix. It's actually just scaled down a little bit. Let's give you an idea what we're looking at. These are pre-canned reports, different layers of data on the same chart. You can use these as they are, but you can mix and match if you need to. has the ability to save statistics. So I want to run 95050 over and over and over again. I can save it and run it again next month. Okay? Very simple search and build process. I'm going to use the zip code for this one for Mary, 95050. Right? I've got mapping capability if I need to. I can come down and do a specific neighborhood like we did on the last search. You can be as specific or as general as you want here. You could lay in, I only want the properties in that zip code between 1 million and 5 million, right? You can cut this pie up or continue to filter it down to the very specific listing information, statistical information, beds, baths, square footage. In this case, I am going to just do the residential, going to do the single family. You can group things together if you need to, right? And now I choose my report. I go back over to the left, and let's take a look at the, let's see, what's one that I like? Let's go average days on market versus that list to sell ratio. What did they list it for versus what did they sold it for? I clicked on that generate button down here to bring up this nice simple chart, okay? Now, standard chart, 1 year back, okay? So it's not a calendar year, it's the last consecutive 12 months, okay? Here's my legend on the bottom, okay? So my columns, those are the days on market. My trend line, that's my sales to list price ratio, okay? Now, in reading this sales to list price ratio, at 100%, right down here at the very base of the chart, if I listed it for $1 million and I sold it for $1 million, that would be a 100% list to sales price ratio, okay? Look where we started with this though. I'm going to put my mouse right on there. In May of 2016, the sales to list price ratio was 105. You can basically say 106. So it sold for 6% over the average list price. Okay, we saw it take a drop. Still over 100% though. Down here in January of this year was probably just below 100%. Okay, at the lowest part of the market. But look what's happened since January. It just continues to rise. We're sitting up at what, 107.4% in the last calendar month counted. Okay. Once again, really can make you the expert. This was at the zip code level, but you could cut this down. You could filter this down into that neighborhood level simply by doing a map drop. Okay. Now the data, the raw data up here in the upper right-hand side, the raw data is available for you that made this chart. If you like using, this kind of material, that table of statistics. And note, I can move that data using that export to CSV. If you like to play over in Excel, and they've got incredible charting tools over there, pretty simple ones too. You can move all that data over to Excel and play with it on that side. Okay? Now, move all the way over to the left, customize. I can play with this chart. I can move things around. I can say, don't take the last 12 months. Give me the last 3 years. Now that's going to be a challenge. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to show you an example of a challenge in a second, right? Last 3 years. Right now we're doing the statistics for sales to list price ratio with a second statistic of days to sell on market. Remember I said earlier you can bundle these things up any way you want. If I don't want sales to list price ratio, I want, let's see, I want the average list price. No, let's go median list price on this one. I can make a change if I want to. I could, for both sets of data, I can mix and match these data points however I like them, okay? Currently grouping by month. So I can change time, I can change the individual data points, grouping them separately, or even just putting one on there. I'm going to take the average days to sell completely all the way out. All I'm going to look at right now is just the median list price. So mix them and match them, choose individuals, swap them back and forth. You got a lot of flexibility in the customized area. The The last bit of customized areas right here, style options. Not a really big fan of seafoam green. Just, I do like, I like the fire aspect right there, and I want it in 3D. Here's my generate button. There you go. You know what? Fire? Not so sure on the fire. Didn't turn out. Let's go chocolate. No, let's go bright instead. Change it. It sounds like someone's got a nice drip up. Without getting it for the rest. So someone's got their phone off mute, and they're giving us melodic entertainment. Anyway, lots of different options for you in the style capability as well. Okay. Once again, these can be snipped out. These make great charts for snipping. Here's my snip tool at the bottom. I'm going to grab it from, give me a new one, and I want to grab from here down to here. Makes a nice addition to maybe a Facebook post or something like that. Okay. So once again, let me throw some things off here so we can see what we're looking at. We started this search for charts to make my own charts and graphs at whatever level of geography you want from any page. You put that tab at the top. It gives you a search page where you can filter to your heart's content, and then it gives you different preset combinations of statistical data. Know that when you go to customize, though, you can choose just the specific one or do special groupings by yourself. You can change the time frame from these statistics to here's some presets, but you also have the ability down here to create your own custom time periods right there. Okay, and then certainly you have your style options to get the right color, the right look and feel. You work for a company that has mostly a blue theme. We can pull light blue and dark blue for you and that kind of stuff. So hope that helps out. We're perfectly on time. I got 3 minutes left. Let's talk about training options. Okay, coming up to the top of the page, way up here at the very top, opening up my my calendar options for training. Okay, so here's my training calendar right here. Let's see what's coming up over the next couple of days. On the webinar side, you've got a Art of CMA class. That's going to be tomorrow morning. I think I'm teaching that one. Art of CMA, 10 a.m. on a webinar for you. All the ones tagged with webinar, we get those out separately for you. Let's see, this class is going to be at the Training Center in Sunnyvale. If you're over in this area, that's going to be an essentials course, but most of you have already taken it. Okay, another webinar on Tuesday. That's going to be the afternoon webinar. I'll be doing that one as well. That's going to be your custom display. You want to build displays to look at data. I want a townhome display. I want a single family display. I want a rural property display. I want to see that list to sales price ratio, all different ways of putting data together so it makes it easier for you to look at it, understand it, and be the expert on it. Other things coming up this week. At the end of the title line these are the associations. So that's going to be the Santa Clara County Association. Art of CMA, if you want to take it by live class on Wednesday, it's going to be over at the Santa Cruz Association as well. Remember that you may belong to the Monterey Association, but you want to go see it in Santa Cruz? Great, go see it in Santa Cruz. Doesn't matter what association you belong to. You can always pick it up at any one of our associations or at any one of our training centers, including our new training center up in Daly City. You'll see classes here as well. The other thing I wanted to show you is, and let's see, did I move? No, back here on that YouTube site. Remember, if you don't remember or don't know how to do it or don't know where it is, that snipping tool, you can get a quick video of it in YouTube. Snipping tool for PC. Also, you can choose snipping tool for Mac, and you'll get the instructions that we've been working in today. In this case, I want to go to my MLS listings. MLS listings. We actually have a channel a place where we store all our videos and the webinars that we've been producing. Okay, so mark on Mondays. There's different videos and webinars we've been doing. I have been capturing this class, this Market Intel class, and I'll be doing the editing on it this afternoon, and we'll get it up here hopefully by the end of the day. So this webinar that we just did will be captured and placed up here. Go to YouTube and choose the MLS Listings channel, and you'll start seeing all of our classes that we do in webinar appearing up here as well. So you can come and see us live at any one of our 2 training centers, Sunnyvale, Daly City. You can see us live at any one of our 7 service centers throughout 5 counties. Doesn't matter which service, what association you belong to. You can come and see us someplace else. You'll see us in webinars such as this, so you'll come online from the comfort of your fuzzy slippers, as they say. Come and see us online, but without the camera. And then you can always come to the YouTube channel later on and pick up that training, you know, maybe at 9:30 tonight because you got a little bit of time. You want to see what Mark said about building statistics for everybody. Okay. Oh, difference between Matrix 101 and 102. Actually, Sean, it's 101 and 201. 101 is the basics. You know, I'm just going to take you around the screen, show you what each buttons is, how do you put in a date. 201, we really get into different types of advanced mapping. Little bit of custom display. Certainly we're going to be taking a look at different sorting capabilities. I want to sort it in 3 different ways. What else is in that? Definitely auto email. The whole auto email and auto save environments are going to be discussed in the 201 class. That was Sean again. Looks, I want to make sure I answered everything for everybody here. Other classes to sign up for. You know, Jay, I think it depends on the level you're at. I'm always a big fan of Matrix 101 and 201. That's the foundation. 301, now we're really getting into carts, how to build like file folders for your data to go in. Remember that when you're in the training calendar, and I'm going to come back all the way out. When you're in the training area, I'm going to open that up. Here are the course breakdowns right here. So let's jump over to, as an example, let's jump over to the pro courses because you want to know what's in the 301 class. Here's the 301 class right here, and you can just pop that open. It'll give you an outline of the different things we're going to talk about. These are the links to the other videos that are out there, or the user guides, the printed user guides. So we always try and bundle things together. If you're going after this class, here's the video for it. Here's the individual user guides that can go along with it. Okay. So once again, from any one of our training pages, you can access the different calendar or catalog areas. Once you click into a catalog area, you'll see the individual list of classes, and then you can click in from there to get the outline of the course. So, okay, everybody. Thank you very much for being with me today. Let's see, what do we have 9. That's great. I like a nice small class. Hope we answered all your questions. If not, let me give you a IMER at MLSListings. I'm putting my .com. There's my email address. Should you need to get a hold of me, feel free to use that. Usually better than a phone call, because I'm in a class or on the road. I'm really sort of a believer in don't drive and jabber at the same time. So email is the best way to get a hold of me, because if I'm moving or I'm in the middle of something, I can move that email to one of my other trainers, and they can get back to you quick with an answer. So, folks, thank you very much for being with me once again. Really appreciate it, and I hope we see you here online or in the classroom soon. Have a great day out there.